podcasters can't even agree on the definition of podcasting. So it's not surprising our categorization system stinks. Worse, our reliance on arcane structures excludes many worthy podcasting topics. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. So last week, I was asked to sign Podcasters Declare. It's an open letter to Apple Podcast to pressure Apple Podcast to add climate change as a category at the top level of Apple Podcasts. Now, their aim of doing this is clearly to raise awareness. Makes a lot of sense. Lots of podcasting companies, I think Omni Studio is deeply involved with it, but there are a lot of other companies that are doing it as well. Their idea is to raise awareness because they know that if they are successful in getting a top-level category in Apple Podcasts, all of the other apps will have to follow. Every podcast hosting company will have to follow, and suddenly there will be an increased awareness around the topic of climate change. This happened when Apple, according to the petition, when Apple put true crime as a top-level category. It elevated the overall awareness of that. Can't argue with their rationale there, and I signed the petition last week. But honestly, I had reservations. Not about the issue of climate change. I'm a crazy progressive person, so of course I accept and understand climate change is real. No, I had reservations because I was thinking about all of the other subcategories that would currently work for podcasts about climate change. And did we really need a brand new top level for that? I hate to say it, but where my mind immediately went to was the slippery slope argument. What about all the other worthy topics that need more exposure? I mean, just do a quick search on the topic, on the word Awareness Week, right? Anything that has an Awareness Week probably could use some increased attention that it doesn't get right now from the current list of categories. LGBTQI+? Yeah. Nope, not a category for that content. What about eating disorders? Or even debt and personal finance? Those don't exist in our current category system. So, do we need to put all of those in there? I mean, what's to stop us from happening? What's to stop more people from requesting that and getting more? I mean, there are already over 100 categories on Apple Podcasts. Do we need a whole bunch more? Therein lies the problem. Because, yeah, it's not working. I mean, just think about this for a second. 100 categories. Sounds like a big number, right? Would you consider for a second, though, there are a lot more categories in books, right? I mean, books can be sliced and diced in a number of different ways. We have entire card catalog Dewey Decimal systems that are really, expansive over there. There are, in an average bookstore, I don't know when the last time you were in a bookstore was, but in an average bookstore, they house thousands of titles, not tens of thousands of titles, not hundreds of thousands of titles, and certainly not 2 million titles, which is how many we have in podcasting. Bookstores, which have way more than 100 categories, list a few thousand titles. But our bookstores, our podcasting stores, our directories have 100 to hold 2 million individual shows today. What's it going to be by the end of the year? It's not enough. I mean, it's great that we can pick 3 different categories for our podcast where a book can only be shelved at one particular spot in a bookstore. That's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not enough. If this petition showed me anything, it's clearly we need more awareness around climate change, but also we need awareness around the fact that why are we letting Apple be in charge of the categories for all of podcasting? Why are we doing this? That's it. They are the arbiters of that. Everyone follows suit with them. I think that's a problem. Now, the Podcasting 2.0 initiative is picking this topic up. There is, in their third wave of accepted changes, categories. A new categories tag is in there, but it only has 112 currently. That's just not enough. So while I like the idea of a more community-focused efforts being in control of the categories, I wonder what's the point of categories at all? I mean, what is this? Yahoo 2001? Remember, back in the day, Yahoo was a directory that categorized every show and tried to index everything by category. They got their lunch eaten very quickly. Why? Scale. It became very quickly impossible to categorize every podcast. Every web page that was out there, every website that was out there. They got their lunch eaten by Google, who said, we're not even going to do that. We're not looking at tags even. We're going to ignore that keyword tag. We're going to examine the contents and come up with our own structure that relates not to how we should put these in a nice semblance of order, but based on relevance of what someone is searching for. Wouldn't that be awesome if we had something like that? I mean, sure, we can level for top-level category changes because we're going to have to do that for a while, whether it's at Apple or with the Podcasting 2.0. I think it works. I think it makes sense, if for no other reason than to possibly show just how much that won't scale, to really expose the problems by just kind of overloading the system. It's just, that's the only way I think we're actually going to wake and work around and find some change with this, is if we kind of overload things and point out that this is crazy that we're trying to do it this way. There are better ways of getting people the content they need that don't require some structured categorization that just doesn't really work. So I'm curious how you see this changing. Maybe how you would like your podcast to be categorized, I guess, but really more of a what's a better way of doing things. Discuss this topic amongst your other podcasting friends, or if you want to, share a link to this episode or the article for the episode in a discussion group online and get the conversation going. Let's see what shakes out, because there's got to be a better way to do this. Now, if you loved the ideas that I've sparked inside of you and now you're getting mad about the whole concept too, great. Go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and slide a virtual coffee my way. That's always nice. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast Pontifications. Cheers.